I'm here. Hello, welcome. Sorry, I realized I left something off the supply list that is somewhat important, so I wanted to make sure that I got it added. Okay, hello, I'm glad you're here. Welcome. I want to start by apologizing. I was supposed to go live last night, but something happened with the family and it just didn't, I needed to cancel. So that live, which I have lots of cards planned, it's celebrating the new Altenew release for their 12th anniversary. That live is now Sunday at 3. So I've got it all prepared. I've got several cards prepared. I just couldn't do it last night. Hi, Melissa. Hello, Rachel. Glad you're all here. So today is about new color and new products and just creating. I have multiple cards planned. We'll do what we can get done, right? I am using, hi Linda, I am using new Concord and 9th and new Kristina Werner. And if you don't know, the Christina Warner products are available on the Concord and 9th website, so you can combine your orders, and they have free shipping at $125. But I will be focused on the new releases from those companies, or from those two lines, because they're just so well done. They're just well done. And unfortunately, I haven't gotten to do a live with their new releases in some time, so I'm excited. No, I don't go on the same time as Gina. I don't overlap her. I wouldn't do that. So I have things planned. I think I'm going to go through the products and show you them along with examples, and then you can help me decide which ones I do first. But before I do that, I do want to show you the new colors from Concord and 9th. Nobody does color like Concord and 9th. They have an eye for color and putting unique color combos together that you can't find anywhere else. I really truly believe that their color combinations on their website are so incredible. Even if you don't have their cardstock colors, you can use them as inspiration with products you might have. Now, they have something called Color Club, which you can see at the top of the Concord and 9th website. And in there is lots of information on different color combinations. So I really recommend checking them out if you struggle with color like I do. So I want to show you their 6 new colors because a few of these I've been begging for some time from Concord and 9th. And I really feel like all 6 of these hit a gap that we've needed in colors and are unique compared to other lines too. So let me show you the new colors of Mike.
What?
How do I go overhead? Hold on, my button's not working.
Okay, hold on.
Look it's me and me. Just what people want. More of me. He's trying to fix it.
Okay.
It was working, there we are. Okay, so Concord and 9th has 6 new colors. And I'm so excited. Not this one. That one snuck in. Okay, so here are the 6 new colors. Capri, which is the color I've been begging for. I had a phone case this color, and every time I saw Greg, I'm like, I want a phone case this color, or a cardstock this color. And then Bluebell, and these two go really well together. Aster, which is gorgeous. Berry Kiss, which is really vibrant. I'll show you how these compare to the other colors. Basil is something that I've wanted because it goes with parsley. I've wanted a green that goes well with parsley. And then Surfside, which is like a orangish teal color. If you can't hear me, refresh your page. Can you put that in the chat? Mm-hmm. Okay. So let me show you their colors and how they fit in with the current combination or current colors. Or the previous colors, I should say. Do know I have all the new color collection linked at the top of my supply list in the YouTube description. Do know that these colors are available in cardstocks, full-size ink pads, ink cubes, re-inkers, and enamel dots. Okay, so everything that all of their colors are available in those things. And you can buy a collection of these new colors, of these new inks, or buy individual. Okay, so let me show you first of all Capri. This is the color that I've wanted. It is a nice, like, bright royal blue. And if you look at what they had before, Blueberry is a very denim-y kind of blue, and the Capri really pops quite a bit more. I know you guys know I love the ultramarine and the azurite from Altenew. I wanted to show you that it is different. It's more of a true blue than those two. So it's a bit more blue. These color swatches I made with, it's a Simon Says stamp die, tag die I've had for many, many years. Okay, so Capri, and then the other new blue is Bluebell. And you can see those go together very well. So this Bluebell leans a little bit purple, but not much. It's a blue with a tint of purple to it. To give you a comparison, this is Harbor, which is more of a kind of a baby blue. So the Bluebell goes really wonderful with the Capri. So you can see those two work well together. And really there's nothing like those colors in their collection, okay? Then Aster. This is a color that I use often is like an orchid color. And you can see how it compares to their current lilac. It's darker, a little bit darker and a little more pink. And here you can see how it goes wonderfully with Fig. So this is Aster and this is Fig. I'll be using those colors today together. And I actually like these four colors together. I'll do that combination too. You can also use Aster with Plumberry, but I do think it goes better with Fig, okay? Then we have Berry Kiss, which is, this one is like a wow in your face color that I think works so good for pop of color on your card. Sometimes I like to put like a little red heart on my cards as just a little pop of red. This is a little more pinkish red. To show you a comparison, so let's see, where is, there. Okay, so this is Honeysuckle, and you can see Berry Kiss goes very well with Honeysuckle. So it's darker than Honeysuckle, but not as red as Poppy. And then you can see it is more pink than Watermelon and darker. So my favorite combination is to put the Honeysuckle with the Berry Kiss. So it's like a medium and a darker, okay? I'll be using that color today too. I mentioned how Basil, I'm excited because look it goes so well with Parsley. Because whenever I do florals, I like to have a dark and a medium green together. And now we have it. You can see it isn't as blue as, this is Clover, and it's not as dark as Evergreen. But you can get a nice trio of greens using Parsley, Basil, and Evergreen. Okay, so I'll be using the Parsley and Basil together. And then finally, Surfside. Surfside is, I'll just kind of lay some of these blue greens out. So this is Oceanside, which is a current color. This is Surfside. You can see it's a little more green, and it looks so good with Sea Glass. You can see it's a little more pop and green than Tide Pool. I also love it with Juniper. It looks great with Juniper. And I know many people love the Juniper color. And so you got that nice, because I like to have buddies for my colors and like pairs that work well together, and the Surfside and Juniper work well together. So if you want pairs with the new colors, I like Juniper with Sea Glass. I like Parsley with Basil. I like Honeysuckle with the Berry Kiss. I like Fig with the Aster, and then I like the Capri and Bluebell together. Yeah, there's some great colors here. So beautiful, so beautiful. So I'll be using those today. All right, there we go. Okay. I'm going to go through and just show you the new Concord and Ninth products very quickly, along with some examples from their website, and then I'm going to dive into making things. The first collection that I really liked and I plan to use today is the Seaside collection. So in the Seaside collection from Concord and Ninth, there's a die set, a stamp set, and stencils, and you can buy these together or separately. But what you end up with is a scene like this, a full scene. And there's ways you can change it up. You can skip the water in the background. You can, put flowers and such in different places. But the stencils create the whole background. This is a little bit bigger than 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So the stencils create the background, and then you add all the accents to it with stamps and die cutting. This is one of my favorites too. I really like the sentiments too that say, thinking of you and sending you so much love. I hope you have the loveliest day. Thanks so very much, and you're a breath of fresh air. Now, here's an example I did today, but I'm going to create a different one along with you. On this one, I skipped the water in the background, and I used a lot of the new colors. So this is the new Seaside. This is the new Berry Kiss, and I did like a pop of that as a trim around it. Did Laura Basson design this? Did she? Okay, well, good for her. It's pretty awesome. There you can see the parsley and the basil together. And then for this little bit of sky up here, I used bluebell. All right. So you can see lots of detail in this. So the background and the buildings are stenciled, and then the rest of it is die cut and stamped. But I'm going to walk through an example. I've done some prep so that it makes it faster to do, and I'm going to do water on that one. So this is one that I do have a card plan for today, and that is called Seaside. Mike, do we have a Seaside example from Concord and Ninth website? Mike's going to show you. I don't know how many I gave you.
You gave me 2.
Okay, there's 2. Now this one here, look at, they skipped the buildings and just did the soft little cobblestone background and like a little cafe scene. So you don't have to do the whole thing. There's just like a little focal point of those products. And then there's another one. And then this just shows you a lot of the different things. So there's little planters with different trees and shrubs and flowers and pots you can put in there. So you could use those with other sets too. But it just shows you like all the little different pieces you can put together. And I will show that card today. Okay, next up is the Wheelbarrow Wishes. Wheelbarrow Wishes. Wheelbarrow Wishes. I love this one because it's different, and that's one of the things I love about Concord and Ninth products is they're always unique, but there are also some great small flowers in here that are great basics. Yeah, I don't think Laura Basson designed the Seaside. I think she made cards with it, but I think Julie from Concord and Ninth designed it. That's my guess. Mindy, I agree with you. I think that, I don't know if I'm wrong. Somebody created it and it wasn't me. So that makes them really, really very, very, very talented because I can't design a product if I save my life. Okay, so I like that this has lots of little flowers that you can put together. And there is this die that makes it easy to fill in the wheelbarrow, which I'll show you. I like this oval die because it's like a fat oval and it's proportioned just right for an A2 card. The stamp set creates little arches so you can stamp perfectly along the oval arch. And then you can see the different flowers that it creates that you can put in the wheelbarrow. I love these. Or use it with something else. There's even this die that cuts a bunch of tiny little dots to put in the center of flowers. Yeah, I don't think Laura designed that. She made some beautiful cards. Yes, okay, Jennifer's correct. Jennifer's correct. Laura did not design the set. Julie from Concord and Ninth. Concord and Ninth uses their own team to create their sets. But I know folks like Mindy, Carissa, and Laura design cards to put on their website. So that might be what you're thinking of. Laura's cards this month they're always great. Laura's cards are always great. Okay, Mike, I have something planned for this, and of course on my card the wheelbarrow is going to move. Mike, can you show the wheelbarrow example?
You calling a wheelbarrow?
Uh-huh.
Wheel. Oh, wheel.
Wheel. Sorry, I called it wheel.
Okay.
There we go.
One wheel.
So there's one example. And notice those are new colors. You can see the berry kiss in the flowers. You can see the wheelbarrow is capri, the new colors. And then the background is the bluebell. So that just shows a card. These, by the way, these are from the Concord and Ninth website, and I used them with permission. They said I could share them. But there you can see some of the different sentiments and see how the sentiments can arch along the oval. I really like that. So I'll be using that, okay? Next up, I have the Concord and Ninth Handpicked something. Is it Handpicked? It just says Handpicked on the, I don't know if that's the name of it. Yes, it's Handpicked. Okay, so this is really fun because if you've ever used any of the Concord and Ninth die sets that they've had in the past where it's a whole background that is like this stitched pattern and you use it as a roadmap on where to glue the flowers. Now there's this one that's just a smaller area, which makes it faster. And the cool thing is I'm going to show it to you. This one I have something planned also. You can either cut it all out or you can cut out one side, so it's like on a flap of a card, or the other side, so it's on that flap of the card. So let me show you a picture. So you get an arrangement like this. This is from their packaging, and see how you can use the one side to cut that, and this can be like a gatefold card. Or you can just glue that flat on there, okay? Or a trifold card, I guess. Like this part right here, this is a cut edge of the card, that opens, and then this background opens. So I have some ideas of doing this a little bit differently. So I will be using this one too. So you guys are gonna have to help me decide which of those to use first. All right, another one, I don't know that I'll have time to use this today, but I think it's so good. Hang on. I really should do a second live with all this stuff because there's a lot. Okay, this is, oh, Mike, can you show the hand, is there a hand-picked example?
Yes.
Okay, let's see it. Look at, see there, see how there's that cut edge on the right-hand side? And you can, that roadmap makes that arrangement easy to put together, but you can also use the floral images to just create whatever you want, like the card in the background there. Look at that, see how that cut edge, I love that. So smart of them to do that. Okay, next up we have the Bouquet Turnabout and dies. You know that turnabouts are one of my favorite things. The nice thing about this one is that there are two small turnabouts in it. And yes, there's a die that cuts the whole thing out. Okay, so you do the turnabout with this image and then the turnabout with this image, and it creates a beautiful wreath. Okay, here is, like, can you, there you can see, when you do the two turnabouts, look at that great image. See, this is the one I think I should do in another live because I think that is so gorgeous. If you've never used a turnabout before, they're really easy to use as long as you have a stamp positioner. And I've done many videos using turnabouts. But the neat thing is you do like the leaves, you stamp, rotate, stamp, rotate, stamp, rotate. You do that 4 times and you get just the leaves, which you could add floral die cuts to. But then you line up the floral image and you get just the florals, which you could leave by themselves. But if you do them on top of each other, you get that. Yeah, it's beautiful. So, and also the coordinating dies cut out these different sentiments in here, and also has the words sweet and lovely that go with the words in here. So like, you are sweet, you are lovely. And there are dies that cut out these extra little floral images. Mike, are there images for the bouquet?
Yep.
All right, look at all those. Look how great those work. Creates like a nice wreath. I don't know. I think it's just beautiful. All right, next up. All right, this is the Diamond Lattice Inlay. So this is a 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch background die, and then you can inlay different colors into it. I'm a big fan of background dies, and I think this pattern's really fun because you can just use it like white on white, or you can inlay colors. Mike, can you show the Diamond Lattice? Did I give you any of those?
Let me see. No.
I didn't? Background. I called it background.
Okay, background.
Sorry.
This one?
Okay, so this one card is by Laura Basson. I got this from the Concord and 9th website. They said I could share them. You can see the background there. And then, is there another one?
Yep.
And this one Laura Basson did too. So Laura designed these cards, and you can see that she used the bluebell and the capri together on the background. And that looks like honeysuckle and berry kiss for the flower on the center. Okay, next up, we're almost done with Concord and 9th. Next up is the Big Happy Patterns. So this is a die that cuts the big letters happy that fills a card nicely. And you can range them like for a horizontal card if you prefer. But then it also has day, from, to, you, birthday, and anniversary. So you can do like happy anniversary, happy day, happy birthday. You can change it up in many ways. And this is a nice one because you can use your scraps of cardstock and do each letter a different color. I also like these because you could pick 6 colors of cardstock, cut this from each, and then you have 6 of each letter, so you can make 6 cards with those mixed up, right? Then there is the Big Happy Patterns, and these you can stamp on each letter so that you can have patterns on the letters. All right. Yeah, it's really fun. And then this you could, of course, use with other things. I'm thinking about using this on a different card later on. All right, Mike, what about Big Happy? Happy? I think it says happy. Look at that. Oh, this one's Laura too. So each month, I think Concord and 9th has a different designer make the cards for the release, and I think Laura was in charge of this time. Isn't that pretty? Those colors are just great. All right, last but not least, for Concord and 9th, we have the Garden's Edge. So there is a stamp set that has these borders, and then lots of nice sentiments like thought of you and felt grateful, wishing you comfort, peace, and a moments of ease. You crossed my mind today. That's great. Sending you a little paper hello your way. I like that too. But these fit nicely on a card. So you can do it like around the top and the bottom. The die set that's available cuts along those edges. So you could do a fun like gatefold sideways card. So it cuts along those edges. And the die set also has the word friend in like the type print and then in the script along with the shadow. And of course, there are coordinating stencils that allow you to color it in and get that kind of watercolor look. So for those of you like me who don't like to color a lot, that's a great option. Yeah, it's different than for them, and I like that too, I agree. All right, let me put this away. So that's Garden's Edge. Mike, is there a garden one or edge or something? I don't know if I got one for that. Did I? Oh, there we go. So there's a few different ways you can use it. That's from the Concord and 9th website. Aren't those pretty? So that is the new Concord and 9th release. Let me show you Kristina's release. And I'm using a few of the elements with my other stuff. You can come back here. I'm using a few of the elements with my other cards, but I also really wanted to do something with this set, but I'm not sure again that I'll be able to get to it today. So maybe I do a second live because I really want to do them. Maybe Saturday. Maybe Saturday. We'll see. Okay, so this is Aubrey Blooms. Aubrey was Kristina's sister-in-law and very special to her, so I love that she named Aubrey Blooms. This is a background stamp and then stencils. So what you can do is stamp this like with, this stamps the background. So if you stamp this background in Capri, like bright blue, then you can go in and color in the flowers with the stencils, and you can have a solid colored background. So you could do like soft yellow flowers on it. And so the stamp lines up with the stencils. So let me see here. So let me find it. Like, there we go. So you could stamp it first, and then you line up the stencils, and you can color the stems blue or green and end up with the solid background. And I like things like this because then you could have a really dark background with light colored flowers, or even white flowers if you wanted. So here are some examples. You can just do tone on tone. This is where if you stamp the background in like a nectar and then ink the flowers on top. Mike, do you have a Aubrey example? These are by Kristina. Kristina did these. They're on the Concord and 9th website too. To find Kristina's products, I have them linked below, but you just go to her tab over on Concord and 9th. And look how beautiful those are. That one on the right, she just stamped. She didn't even use the stencils. And the one on the left, she uses stencils. So I really want to use that. I have a great idea for that one, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Next up, we have the A2 detail frames. Kristina is really good with frames. You know, I use her thin frame dies quite often. Can you come back here? This is the A2 detailed frames, and then there's also the A7. So this is for an A2 card. These are for an A7 card. They have the same frames in it in the two sizes. So the biggest frame, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, has that the little hash mark on it. This is a scallop frame, which I'm planning to use, and this one has like faux stitching, and they're just all proportioned nicely for a card. This also includes the sentiment Just a Note, which is a beautiful thin script and a shadow. But the A7 includes a different sentiment. This includes By Your Side. Oh, that's a nice sentiment. And there's the script and the shadow. All right. So these you'll see me use quite often because they're good basics for any card. So I'm thinking I'm going to use the A2 frame if I get going here. All right, and I'll use them in the future too. Mike, can you show detailed frames? Frames? There we go. Look at that one. So I love her cards for these. Kristina did this. Look at this. So the big frame on the outside edge she did in gold. Then the inner one she did the pink scallop. And then she has sentiments that are proportioned to fit nicely in there, which I'll show you in a moment. There's another one, isn't there? Mm-hmm. Oh no, this isn't the one I was thinking of. But you can see there's two different frames on that one.
Yeah.
And then this is my favorite card Kristina did. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at all those layers. See all those layers? She used those detail frames along with her thin frame dies, and they're all designed to fit well within each other. So I'm going to have to do something with those frames like that because I think that is the most beautiful card. Again, Kristina made that one. All right. Next we have, well, let me show these next. We have the Bold Stripes Greetings and the Bold Stripes Background. So this is a background stamp. I was going to actually do a technique with this and the Aubrey Blooms. But you can create your own plaids with these lines. And there's like this hash line too, which is fun. And then these go really well along a striped card. So holding you close in my thoughts, thought of you and had to say hi, sending love and support, wishing you happiness, consider this a paper hug. Those all go really well like as a stripe on a card. So and also good on the inside. This one fits nicely on an A2. It's proportioned just right. And then there's the square one too. So Mike, can you show stripes? Are there stripe examples? Maybe not.
Yes, there's one.
Okay, look at that. So she stamped the stripes, which doesn't take long at all. She stamped or gold heat embossed a sentiment. Kristina did this one. And then she used a gold square frame. Isn't that gorgeous? This is the square thin frame die she used to create that square frame. Can you come back here? So this is also new. This is the square thin frame die set. I really like her thin frames because it's gives you a nice finished look. She has this extra metal on the edges, which keeps it from warping when you use a rectangle or square like this, something big like this in your die cut machine. So it's nice for just adding details. Mike, there should be one called square. Look at that. Look at the one on the left. She just put those squares in different colors, kind of coming together to the focal point in the center. That's the sentiment. So Kristina made these two. They're all over on the Concord and 9th website, okay? All right, come back here. This is the framed script hellos, and that was on those cards. There's hello, hi, and hey you with a heart. And it cuts this thin word in a frame. And then there is the base for it. And it has it for the hi and the square. And Mike, can you go back to that same image you just showed? There you can see the hi and how it fits right there in the middle. So that's the framed script hellos. I really like that one too. And then last but not least from Kristina is the spring stem. So there is the stamp set. There's a stamp set, and I use the stamp set in one of my cards. And there are lots of sentiments here. So there are coordinating dies. Yep, coordinating dies for all the sentiments and for the floral. And then there is a stencil which allows you to quickly color in the floral. And you can buy all those together or separately. All right. Is there a spring stem? We saw 2 examples with it already. There we go. And that is the spring stem. Isn't that beautiful? I love that card. I'm hoping she sends that card to me. She's coming to my house in a few weeks. Maybe she'll bring that card with her. She's not listening, so I can't get her to do it. Okay. So that is Kristina's. And those 2 are both available on the Concord 9th website, and all the links are below. Now I have 3 that we can choose from to start with. So we're going to do a poll. Okay, Mike, you're going to be ready for a poll?
Yeah.
So I'm going to do as many cards as I can in this live, but let's figure out where you want to start. Yes, I get all of these products. People always ask me to kind of run through new collections like that so they can really see all of it together instead of like scrolling on a page, on a website. So I like to start with that. And also it just helps you look at it closer and decide if it's something that, is different for you, too close to something you have or whatever. All right. So the first option is let's say the scene. The first card that I have prepped is a scene, but I'm going to do it a little different. So it'll create a different scene, okay? So the first, no, not scene, it's Seaside, the Seaside collection. So the first one, Mike's going to put a poll together, but the first option is using the Seaside collection, and we do a different scene. All right. The second option is the Wheelbarrow Wishes, and I would make it so that we fill a wheelbarrow and it moves on the card. Because why not? Okay, so Seaside, Wheelbarrow, and the third one is Handpicked. This is the one that you can do like an edge, and I'm going to do something with that, change it up a little bit, do like a floating frame on it, and use the bold blue.
Those 3?
Those 3. So Seaside, Wheelbarrow Wishes, and Handpicked. So there's a poll at the top of the chat that you can vote on. And you want to vote quickly so I can get started. So go ahead and vote there. I'll do as many as I can today. I never know. Just looking at stuff here. Oof, oof, oof. All right. Is the poll there?
Mm-hmm.
It shows up at the bottom now. I thought it used to show up at the top. Oh my gosh, you guys. Okay, keep voting because Seaside and Handpicked are neck and neck. They're neck and neck.
I voted Seaside, but that's my choice.
Okay, okay. I'll do one and then the second one, the other one I'll do second, and then I'll do the Wheelbarrow third. I prepped most of the Wheelbarrow, so that's a fast one. All right. Oh my gosh, it's tied. What clear envelopes do I use for my stamp storage? I get them from Simon Says Stamp. All right, Seaside looks like it's ahead. Yes.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Okay, you can stop it. I'm going to start with Seaside. Then we'll do Handpicked. And then we'll do the Wheelbarrow. And I've done a lot of prep to save time.
Seaside one.
Okay, Seaside one. Okay, so this is the collection from Concord and 9th. Here's one that I created off screen. I'm going to do it different than this one. But it's a stencil set, a stamp set, and a die set. Hi.
Hi, can you do stitching this?
Oh, can you ask Cammie? Hang on just a second. Lila wants some stitching. Ask Cammie to just cut that like at the top center.
What about that extra?
You can leave it there.
Can I cut it off?
We can cut it afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, sorry.
Those are really crafted by Seaside.
How was your day, Lila?
It was good.
Good. Okay. All right, so I'm going to do it a little bit different and have the C in it, and we're going to go with that. And I've prepped a bunch of pieces, so it'll save us some time. But let's start with the stencils, because I really think it's neat to see how this all comes together and the different options you have to go with it. And I'll tell you some of the changes that I do just to get more from the set. I'm going to make this one look kind of like grease because I think it's just beautiful, and that the capri colors I think are great for it. Okay. So the stencils are numbered at the top, but really you could do whatever you want. I like to just go right into the top left corner with each of the stencils, and then I know it's going to line up right each time. So I use my glass work surface and my magnets to hold it in place. Where's my other magnet? Oh, here it is. All right, so this will do, and I can see from the image on the package that this is the walls. These are the walls here. Okay, this does this part here and this part here. Well, I want to leave my buildings white. So I'm not going to ink this, but you could. In this card, I inked this with Surfside, a very light amount of Surfside, and that's how you get the Surfside colored buildings. But from this card, I want white buildings, so I'm going to skip this stencil. Because again, this stencil just does the buildings. So I will move to the second stencil. I'm kind of going. This one does the ocean and the roof. And I'm going to start with the roof on this one. And I will use Dove, which sadly is being discontinued, but I'm going to use it anyways. Does that work?
Mm-hmm.
What you looking for?
Everything.
Oh, okay. It's in there. Oh, here, I've got a new poker thing. Hold on. Let's see the new ones.
Yeah, the tool.
These are cool. These are from Spellbinders. Hold, please. I'm going to show you this. These are a new set of craft tools from Spellbinders. I have it in my supply list. In it are tweezers that are super pointy. Then there are 3 tools. This one's a piercing tool. And it has these nice caps that fit on. Oh, you want that. Right there. Okay. And then this one is a wax tip. And it comes with 2 extra wax tips in the pack. And then this one's cool. It's like you can use it to move things or wipe extra, like wipe some glue on something. But like you can move your foil plate or your press plate into the right spot. It's just a nice like silicone tip tool. So you might see me use some of those. I usually don't leave the caps on my tools, but that's just me because I'm lazy. Okay, so back to this. This does the roof and then the ocean. So I need to mask off. So I'm just getting the roof. So Actually, I'll just use, I have these little like corner alignment guides from Altenew. I'm just going to put that down. So I'm masking the ocean off. So I'm just doing the roof. I need to use the roof. I want to make it pretty dark with the dove color. You could do blue roof if you want, but I have other blue I'm going to use. So I'm going in with the dove. These are the new Simon Hurley blending brushes. I really like them. This is the bigger size. I really like the smaller size a ton, but you'll see me use them. I have those linked below too. Okay, so there I did dove, pretty heavy on the roof. Don't move. Nobody asked you to move. Okay, then I'll wipe off the excess. I think I made that a little messy. Yeah, I did that a little messy. Hold on. Zoink. Let me do that nicer. Put that back on. And mask so that I'm doing, oops, I'm doing just the roof. Okay, hang on. All right, so there we go. I did that a little sloppy. I shouldn't have done it so firm. Okay. So I'm doing the roof in Dove. I'm not going to do a lot of blending because I think in this card you don't really need to. You can if that floats your boat, but I don't think you need to. Wipe off that extra ink. So I just have the roof there. It is a good gray. Rocky Shore from Pink Fresh is great too. Okay. Oh, and Gina K has Smoke. That's a good one too. Really good one. All right, so let me wipe this off.
Thank you.
Thank you. You might want to pick some new colors, Lila, before you go back up. Okay, then I have the ocean. Now, if you don't want an ocean between there, you can skip it. That's what I did here. So I don't have an ocean there. So if you don't want an ocean and you just want a little village or a little town, you can do that, okay? But on this one, I am going to do the ocean. So for the ocean, I'm going to use Capri. I'll talk more about Simon's brushes. I've been using them off screen because I never like use a tool and share it until I like it. On screen, I mean. Like I like to test things off screen. So I've been using them off screen. I really like them. But you'll see me use them more. There are these two sizes. So there's the larger and the smaller. I really like this one because it fits a gap. The smaller ones. The smaller ones are a bit bigger than like my Altenew ones, but not as big as the Pink Fresh. So I will be talking about them in the future. I'm just still playing with them quite a bit here. Okay, so there is our ocean. I'm not going to clean these. And I did a light amount of Capri for that. I could have done like a heavy amount of Bluebell, but I'm saving the Bluebell for the sky. Okay, that Capri, oh my gosh, that color just floats my boat. And it's funny because there will be a boat floating in this. Okay, next is number 4, which gives you the cobblestone. It gives you the walkway, and it gives you like some brickwork. So you can see I did little bricks on here. Hi, Simon. I was just talking about you. How'd you know? So I'm going to do a lighter amount of the Dove. I'm using the Spellbinders Big Mama brush here because I want to use a lighter amount of the Dove. I don't have a Pink Fresh brush for gray, so that's why I switched to this. But these are great brushes too. By the way, today is the last day of the sale over at Spellbinders on tools. And the craft stacks that you see me use in all my videos, they're on sale. I put that right at the top of our supply list so you can find it. But they're on sale right now. So are other tools. These blending brushes are on sale. They're great. So I'm just kind of doing, I want this to be uneven. There's our bricks and our walkway. And then the last one here, does the sky and like the sidewalks. Now I just want my sidewalks to have a little ink for the definition between the sidewalk and the building. Hi, Christopher. So I'm just doing like a little light. Not much. Just some light there. So there's some definition between the sidewalk and the building. I'll do the same thing on this side. Oops, I went a little heavy there, but that's okay. There we go. So there you can see the sidewalk. Then for the sky, let me wipe this off. The sky, I'll use Bluebell. Bluebell, I think, is a beautiful sky color. Because it's a happy blue. A lot of blues I feel are a little too dull for a sky, and I feel like this one's a good one. Okay, so Bluebell. I'm going to go light up here with Bluebell. Oops. I think I had some Capri still on there, but on my brush, but there you go. Okay, so there is our background. So on this one, I skipped the ocean and I made, instead of white buildings, I did surfside buildings. Okay? So just showing you different things that you can do with it. All right, let me put some of this away because I've learned my lesson. Clean the stencils later. I really should have Cammie in here, Mike, when I'm going live, and she can clean up as we go. Okay, so now let's work on this. Let me show you some of the details you can add. I did a lot of them again, but I'll explain what I did. That Bluebell, isn't it beautiful? Okay, ocean. So this I just line up with the ocean. This is from the stamp set. This is all the Seaside. It should be close to the top of my supply list. And I'll stamp this with Capri ink. Another thing you could do here is ink that in green and make it look like grass out in the distance, like a hill or something. All right, let's see. Oh, that's just the beautiful, that color. I mean, come on, look at this. Look at this ink color. I mean, you saw the cardstock, but look how, Such a good color. So there's our ocean. Then we have our roof details. Sorry, my head's going to get in the way. Mike, are there questions while I stamp this?
Yeah.
I'm doing my best to do this quickly. Sorry, head. But, you know, if you don't have people watching you and looking at the back of your head, you could probably do a better job than I am. Because, you know. All right, what's the question, Mike?
Where are the corner pieces you use for blocking off areas?
Okay, those like corners, there's a set of them. They're Altenew alignment guides. They're actually meant for the stamp wheel, but I use them for stencils. Mike will add it to the supply list. To find my supply list, the best thing you can do is at the top of the YouTube description, there is a link, and it has the word, I'm almost done, sorry. It has the word live in the link. If you click that and go to a new page, it will have at the bottom of that page thumbnails of everything I use. And he will add it to that thumbnail list.
What was it again?
The alignment guides from Altenew. Okay. This is, I think I'm going to make these lines darker. So I'll go with mushroom. So I'll stamp the details on the roof, and watch this, how it just poop. And more realistic here would be to do like a bricky kind of color, but I wanted gray, so why not? Yes, I have used the stamp wheel. I love the stamp wheel. You know what I love the stamp wheel for the most is Turnabout stamps. I actually think I need to do a live, and I can show that because it's really cool. I love the stamp wheel. Okay, so also in this stamp set is a stamp that you stamp with like whatever you want the inside of your windows to be. I used Bluebell. Isn't that the perfect blue? So I stamped the windows with Bluebell. And so it's this one image, and then there's the one die that cuts them all out to look like that. So you stamp the one image on white, use the coordinating die to cut it out, and you get these windows. Okay? My roof is gray too, but I think this type of roof would look better in like a terracotta. Oh. Here, can you answer my phone? Okay. Then this stamp right here does the details on the doors. So you stamp this, then cut it with this die, and that gives you your doors. All right. Then this die creates the base form, the white molding. Okay. So I've got those ready. Those are the things from this. Oh, and then this is the awning. If you want to create a little cafe, like I did here. See that little awning? You stamp it, and then you use the die to cut it out. Junk, okay. So I did some of those off screen just to be ready. So let me start putting these together. There's also this die, little bundle of dies right here that are made to create steps going up to the doors. If you want steps going up to the doors. So you just cut those right there. The instructions on what these pieces are used for is on the Concord 9th website. But you just cut one and then layer the other on, and you get these little stair steps. So I'm going to glue my stair step down. I'm going to put one right here, and it's all angled in proportion to be just right on your card. I'm going to put that stair step there, and then the door above it. This door is angled in proportion to be just right on the side of that building. Isn't that cool? Okay, so there is that side. Then over here, I'm going to wait to put, well, no, I'll just do it. What the heck? I'll put stairs right here. Yeah, I have a gray roof also. Okay, and then that door there. Look at that. Okay, now for the windows, you can put the big window down here and look at the proportions. Oh, so good. If you want to put the awning, you just stamp it and then use the die to cut it out. And I did that in Capri. And the awning goes right above that window. Sticks out. And you can skip the awning. You could put another door there. You can do whatever you want. But then above the awning, you have two windows. And I love that they made it so you stamp all of the windows at once and you cut all of them out at once. Oops. Trying to go too fast, but look at the nice trim you're getting. Okay. Then up here, look at this. This die I cut from Capri. It's the die here. This gives you shutters for the last window. You just put it right on there and look at the shutters go right on. Isn't that cool? So I'll put this window right up here. All right, so there we go. I have, look at the little cafe table and chairs. We're gonna put that underneath the little awning here. Put it right there. Look at that. Oh, that's so cute. The die even cuts little cushions for the chairs if you want them. I know some people don't love all the details, so it's totally up to you, but I'm a big fan of the details. So I did a lot of these details ahead of time just to save you time. Isn't that cute? So, and you can also use, if you think about it, like I have from Spellbinders, a set from Yana that's like a city building. You can put that cafe table in front of that set so you can use it with other things. There is a lamp post. And by the way, the little cafe table chairs and lamp posts I did from black glossy cardstock that I get from Simon Says Stamp. So I'm gonna put that right there. Oh, this, you know what? I don't want to put the lamp post just yet. To go back here, I created some florals. Okay, so there is this die here that creates like a bush that fits perfectly in this nook. There is also this little fence which fits perfectly across it. So these fit exactly in the spot. Makes it super easy for that. And it fits right here. So I'm going to put glue right here. And I'll just tuck this behind what I've got already. I should have put this down first. You don't have to. Okay, so see how that fits right there? So I did the bushes or the shrubbery right here. No, it's the stencils. Then I created the little flowers using this die. Hold on. See that die right there that cuts lots of flowers? I cut those from blueberry and buttercup. Look how cute that is. No, Cami, this. This is what I was talking about. Here we go. Cleaning these. It's just one spritz of rubbing alcohol. Should wipe the ink off. So see how that fits there? You didn't have to put it, but I did. There's a little sailboat. There's dies there to create a sailboat. So I'll put the sailboat in the water because why not? What sentiment am I going to do? I still like that sentiment that says thinking of you and sending so much love. So I'm going to put my, I'm going to put it kind of out in the water there. Then I created cute little planters using the different options in the set. There's actually more options than I used here, but I just created 3. I like to do things in 3, so I'll put this one right next to this door. And then I'll put this big guy in front of him. And the greenery on these, I used parsley along with the basil. The pots, I used the new bluebell. Okay, so see how it's all coming together? I used some of the greenery. Oh, I forgot about this. My boat's going to be in the way, but I used some of the greenery and flowers to create this little patio up here. And there's the little railing to go on top. Watch. It's so cute. See? Look at that. I'm actually going to pull that out a little bit. Get my boat back in there. Like that. Okay? Then I rigged it to be a little different. I thought it'd be fun to have a flower box here. So let me show you how I did the flower box. I don't know where I put it. Hold on. I need some green. I'll use parsley. And I'll use this die right here. This just creates some of the planter greenery because there's lots of different planter sizes here. And then you just put the green behind it and it peeks through. But I'm going to cut from that. Oops, hang on. That's all. Not very exciting. Thank you. Because I figured I'd get that blue ink everywhere. Cami cleaned my stencils. Everybody needs a Cami. Okay. Thank you, Cami. Thank you. She must have been watching and heard me say that. Okay, so I'm going to cut some off of this. I'm just going to cut the top part, and I'm going to glue that right at the base of my window. So I just have this little piece of greenery here. Then I have some of my little flowers. We'll put 3 flowers in there. So I'll use 2 of the bluebell flowers, like that, and then 1. Do I have a single one? No, I don't. I'll do 2. I'll do 4 flowers. Then 2 of the buttercream. Then, let me move those out of the way. To make my window box, I just die cut another of that window, so I know the proportions would be right. And I'm just going to cut a little strip off the bottom. And that'll be my window box. And I'll glue that right on top. Because I've always wanted window boxes on my house. Someday I'll get them. But you can glue that there, and now you have a window box. You could do the window box in Capri, too. There you have some greenery. Oop, and flowers up there. Look at that. Okay, so see the detail in the planters? This one has 2 layers of green. There's basil and parsley in it. And those little flowers. Isn't that amazing? Now I need to add my lamppost. I'm gonna have it go right there. I tried to prep the assembly of these little things to save us time in the live, but please know there is also, I wish I would have put that right there, but I think the glue is gonna, yeah, the glue will be messy. Yeah, I'm not moving it. There is a guide over on the Concord and Ninth website that shows how to, I'm gonna do I Hope You Have the Loveliest Day. On this one I did Thinking of You and Sending So Much Love. There is a guide that shows you how to layer all the pieces together. So I love that these sentiments like are positioned to fit right in that little nook up there between the buildings. Isn't that fun? So you can see that these two, this is like, you know, a seaside village. This one is just a village because I skipped the ocean on it. So you can just change up how you do it. So there I did the sentiment. I got to get a new cloth. I gave her mine. And then I could do 2 boats. Yeah, I could go back and add another boat in there. I'm not going to do it right now to save time because I want to show you some other things. But you could do another boat in there. And then finally, there are these sweet little clouds. I'm going to use my new tweezers. I don't usually use tweezers, but for this, I think I will. I'll put some clouds in the sky. But you can really put anything you want on here. You can add other things. Concord and Ninth has a lot of sets that are, you know, with little things in it that you could use here. I think I'll do this one here. I like these cloud shapes too, these long clouds. And then you can also cut them so you have some little fatter clouds. Cut those little shapes off. Let's put a little cloud right there. There we go. Actually, that fat cloud shouldn't go there. Let's do it with this one. See, this is how I overthink. Isn't that blue amazing? Yeah, this will be better here. All right, just so it gives you an idea of 2 different looks you can do. So now this one, I'm going to trim this down. My little clouds out of here. This is the Seaside again. So brilliant. Just crazy about this kind of stuff. I could have die cut this out with a rectangle die before I glued all the die cuts on, but I didn't. So I'm just going to trim it. And this I would probably put on mat it with a thin base of Capri, that bright blue cardstock. And I think that would really make it pop. Let me tell you the overall size of this right here. Overall size is a little bit bigger than 4 1/4 and by 5 1/2. So this is just a little bit bigger, so you can cut it down if you want it to fit on an A2 card. But look at that. Isn't that pretty? So this is a really well-designed collection where you have stencils, stamps, and dies that create the scene. Another thing, Kimberly, that will work again. My Altenew code that for the live I was supposed to do yesterday will be good again on Sunday when I go live. Okay, so this is the stamp, stencils, and dies that allow you to create a scene. So I have 2 different scenes here, but again, you could use just a part of it like they showed on the Concord and Ninth website. I showed that example before. And other things, like you could use little circle dies or like enamel dots with black strings drawn on it to have balloons. A lot of things you could do. You could definitely do a night scene too. You can do like a night sky. Isn't that fun? I think it's incredible too. And it doesn't have that much bulk because the beginning was stenciled, right? So it's not all die cuts layered together. So that's Seaside. And also that this die right here, look at how many little florals it creates. All right. So that I'll be using that with others because I love these little florals. So I just think that's beautiful. You can also like cut out, it would be easy to cut out these little houses and pop them up, or just use the little houses on the side of a card and just put, skip this bush back here and just put some planters. You can change this up a lot. Yeah, you can put little seagulls. You can draw little seagulls in the sky. You could also make it a Christmas thing. Isn't that fun? Yeah, it does. It reminds me of Santorini. I was there with some crafters last summer. All right, so that's Seaside. And these sentiments I think you could use with a lot of things. They would look nice stamped onto a heart, a large heart too. Isn't that fun? Yes, you could do colorful homes and make it like Cinque Terre in Italy, for sure. All right, next, you all wanted the Handpicked. So let's look at the Handpicked again. I'm gonna try this one, hold on. Okay, let's look at the Handpicked again. It is this die set and stamp set. But the stamps are sentiments that are proportioned to go nicely next to it, but you could use other sentiments too. I'll be using some of the other sentiments. There's a nice little like splatter stamp, which is nice too. Yeah. Okay. All right, so this is Handpicked. I did some prep work because I love you. I do want to do some inking to my die cuts first. So I'm warning you now, I'm going to do the fastest inking in the history of the world because I don't want to spend a lot of time on it. So in this die set are these large florals that layer together. So I'm going to ink those all up. And I cut those large florals. I cut these large florals from the Bluebell cardstock, that new color, okay? And I want to do a bit of shading on it. And I thought it'd be fun if I did shading with the Capri, which is really gonna pop, all right? So I gotta be kind of careful with how much I put down. I'm gonna use the Capri. So I have this is the new blending brush from Simon Hurley I was talking about earlier. I really like this size. It's nice for the center of these flowers. So I'm going to tap off some of that extra ink because it's a loud color into the lid. Then I'm going to start in a circular motion at the center of these flowers and work my way out to the tips. Okay? Very fast. I don't want to spend a lot of time doing this. It always helps to make noises when you do it. Okay? Very fast. I think I might go a little bit farther out. There we go. So it gives that nice pop. Now I'm going to come in with a smaller brush. Just do darker at the centers only. Okay, those will be kind of covered anyways because these all layer together. Now for I got a lot of ink on this guy. Okay, for this one, I'm going to use the smaller brush. I thought it was smaller in size. I guess it wasn't. Here we go. And then, and then for that last one, I'm going to use a tiny brush. This one's from Altenew. I inked that up way too much. Let's see. It'll be fine. We'll just leave it. That'll pop it nicely in the center. Okay, so that's Bluebell and Capri together. Oh. Then these. I think most of this gets covered. So I'm just going to do some inking on these two. So it has a little bit of that too. Okay, so we have our flowers here. I'll set these aside. Next we have some more flowers. I have, where's my, I don't know. I usually have a water spray bottle out here that I use to clean my mat, but I can't find it. You never want to use alcohol on the mat. All right, next up we have white flowers because I'm going to do a bold card. So I want to do a little yellow at the center. So I'll use buttercream or buttercup. Perfect yellow. Yeah, sound effects do help. some of that extra ink. I just need, so it's just like yellow at the center, kind of fading out to white tips. Okay. Not the best, but they're done. Okay, then leaves. Leaves and stems. So I cut these from parsley is the lighter color. Basil, which is the new green, is the darker color. And then I'm going to do some inking on those. Put Buttercup away. I think I'll do inking with basil on both. Just so I don't have to get another one out. Put this away. So, let's use, there we go. Okay, so this is the basil. I'm going to do some, make it kind of dark at the base. Get out of my way. Dark at the base, like that. I'll do the same here. I'm trying to do some inking just at the base of the leaves. That just kind of fades off to the color of the cardstock below. And remember, a lot of the color will soften too. So see how I kind of go like that. I don't always ink my die cuts because sometimes I like them just solid. Sometimes I want shading. Today I wanted shading. I don't know why. Yeah, it is a great green. It's a good Christmas green too. Let me show you the ink color. I haven't done my ink swatches yet, but that's a good Christmas green. Here's the cardstock again. I mean, that's the perfect Christmas green. Okay, so now I have all my die cuts. Clean this off.
It's the day for sound effects.
It is the sound effect day. All right. Now, there is this right here that will create a little piercing pattern that is a roadmap on how to assemble those die cuts. See? I have die cuts now in all of these shapes. So it makes it really easy to create a nice arrangement. Now, I want to do that onto Capri. I want a bold background. I'll put this floral arrangement on a bold background. So I'm trying to decide if I want it off to this side or this side. I'm going to use just a note. I think I want it off to this side. Okay, so I need to do, I'm going to do 2 pieces of Capri. Bear with me, I'm figuring this out as I go. It may not work. Shocking. So I have this cardstock. I can roll around in this cardstock. I'm cutting a piece to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I'm also cutting a piece to, that is 8 1/2 by 5 1/2. And I'm going to score it down the middle to create a side fold note card. Okay, so there's my side fold note card and a panel to go in the front. I'm going to start with the panel. I want to do it all the way on the right. On the card example here, they did it towards the left. I'm doing it towards the right. I don't know why. Just to change things up. So I want to cut this edge only. If I wanted to cut the whole thing out, there's a die to do that. If I wanted to cut out the left edge, there's a die to do that. Or if you want to cut the right edge like I'm doing, there's a die to do that. So I'm going to lay this down. And first I will do, I'm going to cut this piercing thing first. Just so you can see it. I don't want it to move. Run that through my die cut machine. And it just does piercing. So you could do this right on the front of a card, like I did here, if you wanted to. And then assemble your flower onto it. I like to complicate things. The edge is cool, I know. All right, so there you can see the piercing, right? Now I want to cut the edge of it with the die. So I'm lining it up. Do. Reuse my tape. Line it up the best I can and cut it. So the roadmap is going to be hard. That die, that I call that a roadmap die, it's going to be kind of hard to see in the video, or in the video, but I can see it. And when I did that, I should have done the edge first, then this, because I kind of flattened my piercing. So I'm just popped it back in place and running it through so I can see the roadmap better again. I didn't have to do that. But. Okay, now one last cut here for the card that I'm planning. Yes, see, it's beautiful. Okay, now here's the front of my note card here. I'm gonna open it up. So this is the front of my note card. I'm gonna just hold that there on the front so that the fold of the card is lined up with this edge here. And I'm gonna open it up, move it over just a hair. Then I'm gonna lay this onto the card. I'm kind of popping it or onto what we've already cut. Hold on. Okay. Slide that out. So I'm trying to cut the edge onto the front of my note card in the same position that I cut onto this panel. I could have just done it directly on the front of the note card, but I wanted it to be stronger. So now I'm going to keep this open, run this through, and this will cut the edge of our card. Yeah, my die cut machine's in a drawer. That's why I don't bring it out here. It makes it really easy to do. All right, let's see if I nailed it. So there's the edge of our card. So the front is a shaped edge, and that will get glued on it. Perfect. Okay, so I could put white in there if I wanted to, but I'm not sure yet, so I did blue. All right, now let's put our die cuts together. Now, I will tell you that the flower, or these might not glue together well, because I have wet glue here. See, I had wet glue there. Liquid adhesive, well, really all adhesives, don't really love to glue on wet glue. Or on wet ink, I'm sorry. Let me say that again. Liquid adhesives don't like to dry and hold on wet ink. It takes longer, so these might wiggle a bit. All right, so I'm gonna take that. I glued them together. I just lined up that shape in the middle. And I'm gonna rotate it until it matches up with, here we go, I see it. Kind of with the road map. There we go. It kind of is the same shape, and then I put glue, put it right into that road map. Remember, there's like piercing that kind of shows me where to place it. All right, then on top of that, I'm gonna put the center flower. Oop, I kind of made a mess. And then boop. Then we get this guy, who I went a little crazy on the inking with, but look at that flower. Isn't that gorgeous? And then you can add like a gem there or something, but I'm gonna use, come on now, I'm gonna use one of these little yellow flowers that's in the die set. I think that, oh, you know what I didn't do? I forgot the stem. So I'm gonna peel this off carefully. Oh, my flower's tearing apart because it's wet, but I will fix it. No one will ever know except the 3 people watching this video. Okay, so I'm just gonna set that aside. I gotta do the stem. Duh. So there's the road map tells me where to put the stem. It takes the guesswork out of it. So I will put this down first, and it lines up. Oh, that lines up so nicely too. Lines up. And then I also have, there's a little circle there where this goes on, but it's okay. All right, then there's these little guys that tuck in there according to the roadmap. And this one goes in here. Isn't it pretty? So the die cuts here, the blue die cuts, that's the bluebell. And this dark is the capri. All right, then we have this one, which goes up here. All right, and it just, I can see where it fits. There's also guides over on the Concord 9th site. Another thing is, you could, did you see how this die cut has these little circles there? Those are little platforms to show you where to put flowers on it. So if you don't want to follow the roadmap, you don't have to. And then this guy goes down here. Okay. I think that's an extra one. I think I did an extra one. Okay. So there we go. And it just fits in there perfectly. Now for the big mama. Big mama. I think it was like, there we go. Oh, that's so cute. Then we have the leaves. I did some extra leaves because I was going to do two-tone. Here, I can do it. It won't take long. So let's see. I'm going to cut this leaf in half right along that cut that the die does and glue it onto the darker. So the leaf is half parsley, half basil. So the top half is a little bit lighter than the bottom half. Totally don't need to do it, but sometimes those little details are fun. And this, you can see, just fits right in there. And I'm just following the dots. Isn't that pretty? Okay. Then for this one, I'll cut this leaf in half. So I get that. The two-tone's kind of hard to see in the video, but sometimes doing that, I'll show you, adds a little bit to it. So see how the top part of it is a lighter green than the bottom. Then we have these white, I think there's 4 whites. And I just put them right into where it says to put them. Even tells you which way to, you can even see how it's oriented. So it just fits just right in there. Let's see. Are there questions, Mike?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm ignoring things. Got my head down today.
Look at something else.
What?
I'm taking care of something else.
Is something wrong?
No.
Okay.
Let's see, question.
These little flowers I did from Buttercup, because I think that yellow just pops against that capri. All right. And then there's these centers too. I'm moving things, which I shouldn't do. Okay. What questions we got?
You're going to be a create, right?
I think I'm going to create the first night only. I think.
Yeah, somebody asked what booth you'd be at, and I don't think you're at a booth.
Not at a booth.
Right.
I would just be hiding under a table.
Hmm.
That's how I normally do things. Literally. I bet somebody is here that used to go to the craft shows, the CHA craft shows and such. When I would get overwhelmed, I'd hide under the Hero Arts table. Literally under the table, I would text Christina and I'd say, help. And she'd come sit under the table with me until my anxiety passed.
So that's where we can find you.
Yeah, usually under a table. Look at those flowers. I mean, come on. I don't know about, so I won't be at a booth. I'll just be walking around. I don't know about the Big Shot switch. I have it. I don't use it. Here's the thing. I love my Empress, and for an electric machine, I think it's just wonderful. If you manual machine, I like Gina K Intracut and the Spellbinders Platinum. Those are my 3 favorite machines. The Tim Holtz big Vagabond, whatever, that was an amazing die cut machine. Okay, so there we go. Look at that. Look at that. I just put it where the etching goes. And now I could have stamped on the background. You know what I wish I would have done first? I wish I would have used this from Kristina Werner, the bold stripes background, and stamped bold black stripes in Capri ink on the Capri cardstock for tone on tone. I could do it on the inside, but let me glue this on here. I want to see how this looks because I'm so excited. So let's put this down. Oh my gosh, that color. Holy mackerel. Look at that. Look at that. I made a mess with my ink here. I'm gonna have to, these top blues, I might have to redo those top blues because I kind of made a mess of them. Also, the center of these flowers need to be darker, so I'm coming in with a Y19 just to add some darker color to the centers because I'm weird like that. Okay, now I could just stamp a sentiment because remember in the stamp set, these go like this right there fits perfect there. This fits perfect there. There's even a banner die for their sentiments. But I really wanted to use this Just a Note, which is from the A2 detailed frame dies from Kristina Werner. And I thought it would be cool. Everything I was thinking about doing, I didn't do. I was thinking about having this be like this frame kind of hooked on here, but I forgot to do it. So let's see if I can make it work from here. No, that won't, that won't do it. I wanted to have this floating. Yeah, I messed it up. What I was gonna do, what I forgot, is I was gonna do the flower over here, then have this floating frame be like this. So pretend this edge is closer. And then this would float on the frame, but I didn't do that. But I love this little pop of white though. If I could tuck some of it in. Let me see. I know some of you are saying, don't do that, but just give me a minute. Let me just think. See, that could be pretty. And that just gives a little, nice little focal to that. And then Just a Note. But I'm thinking I don't want to do that. I love this Just a Note. I was going to do maybe silver cardstock on top of this. I think I'm going to skip this. I love these frames, but I don't think that I want to do it. I think I really want to leave this and just white heat embossed sentiment there. Yes, Buttercup is a Concord and Ninth color. It's the perfect yellow. Perfect happy yellow. Warm, happy yellow. Not too green, not too orange. It's just perfect. Here, I'll get a swatch of it out. Oh, my swatches are right here in front of me. They were. Okay. Buttercup. Where is it? There's Buttercup. Sunflower, which is nice. It goes a little darker. Honeycomb is a little more gold tone to it, which goes with Stardust nicely. But Buttercup, I love Buttercup. All right, so I think what I'll do is I'm going to put a white panel in here where I can write my sentiment because I like to have white on the inside of my colored cards to make sure that I have a nice spot to write with it, and I don't need a white gel pen. I don't want a white gel pen. Let's see if that, I don't want it peeking out up there. So I'm going to go a little shorter this time. I think that'll do it. Hold on. Just a little bit more. Okay. Let me see. So this is where I would write my personal message. Oh, but you know what? I think it would be nice to have a stripe and peeking out. I need that stripe. Y'all, I need the stripe. But I don't want to mess up my card at this point. So what I'm going to do is I have another panel of Capri that I'll put on the inside. I could have done this earlier, but I didn't think about it. Where did my bold stripe go? Oh, here it is. Right next to me. This is going to be messy. Can you, hi, Kathy. Yes, Concord and Ninth is thick enough to be used as a card base, but I really like very thick card bases. So what I do instead is I put in an extra insert on the inside, which just will make it stronger. So I do that a lot. I could put the frame on the inside. Hold on, I'll show it to you. The frame thing, it would have been cool floating, but I didn't. You could do it like that and have it peeking out, but I think I'm gonna go with the stripes. So I gotta get my head in the way, sorry. Ooh. Okay, hold on. Do this the best I can. Don't move, okay, good. So I'm gonna do Capri. Yeah, there's a lot I could do with this, but here's the thing. I could do a gatefold open or like a trifold opening, but I don't think I want to. I think I want it just simple like I'm doing. I don't know. You win some, you lose some. Let's see. Oop. Come on, mama. Okay, let's do that again. Are there more questions, Mike? Mm-hmm. What else?
How does Capri compare to Ultimate Azurite and Ultimate Marine?
I showed at the beginning of this video a comparison between the Ultimate Azurite and Aquamarine. The Capri is more of a true blue. It's a bit more true blue as opposed to a purple blue, which the Ultimate ones are. They're all beautiful. But let's see here. Let me get this off. Look how pretty that is. Man, that waffle flower grip mat grips. People always say their grip mats don't grip. It grips. That's a good thing. Okay, hold on. Sorry. Would this work on the larger A7 format? What I would do is turn your, make it like the floral go that way. And you could do it. Okay, so now, let me just cut a little bit off the side of this so it doesn't stick out. What size plates do I use with the Empress? I use the small ones the most, but there are large and mini. But what you see me use in videos is what they call small. Okay, this is gonna go on the inside. So it peeks out. Drink. There we go. So there's the inside, and then now this, hoping can fit like, put it right. There we go. That's what I wanted. So look at those stripes out the side. Isn't that fun? Okay, and so you write your personal message there. I have ink everywhere. Hold on. Let me clean off my fingers. And then I got some blue ink, the Capri ink right there. I just use my little paper sander and sand some of that ink off. Now it's gone. Okay. So to finish this off, I'm not gonna add the sentiment right now because I feel like I want to do another card. But what I will do is the thanks for always being there in white heat embosser right there. All right. So there's a closer look. Look at the detail in that. Gosh. So beautiful. All right. So that uses all the all Concord 9th colors. But I have things I'll do to it. I will pop extra centers on those flowers. I'm going to redo that because I don't like how I did it. Do know that this ink right here will soften a bit. It's not going to be as dark because dye inks kind of soften as they dry, but you'll still see them. Another thing that you could add to this that I might do off screen is this set, the Bold Stripes Greetings from Kristina. This one right here, that's a bunch of dashed lines. That would look good stamped right between. Or it could be stamped on top of the Capri Bold stamps in like a white pigment ink. So it's just subtle. Yeah, that's what I'll plan to do. So I will finish this, but these sentiments fit perfectly right there. So this will stand really cool on display because it's kind of, the front edge is floating. Thank you, Family Rooted in Love. Thank you. I appreciate that. Very kind of you. Okay. So that is Handpicked. The frame and the Just a Note that I didn't use, but oh, I do like that there too. I'm gonna have to play around with that later, but maybe nestled right there, do Just a Note. This is from Kristina's A2 detailed frame die set. This is from that too. There is a dot for the J, I just don't have it. I kind of like that. Yeah, I think I might switch to do that. Isn't that pretty? Yeah. No, I find, I'm gonna answer some questions while I get out the next one. I'm gonna do the Wheelbarrow next. That one won't take long, and we'll see what we have time for after that. Somebody asked, do the Empress die cutting plates warp? No. You can see here, no warping. If you get warping, that means you're using too much pressure. Okay, so that was Handpicked. How do Concord and 9th inks compare to Simon Says Stamp inks? Very similar. They're the same foam pad. All right. All right. Okay. Thanks for being here, everyone. I appreciate it. I really do. Okay. Look at the size of this. It's my son's. He got it from the company that he co-ops at. And it's huge. Okay. Let me show you what I got here. This is the Wheelbarrow Wishes. And I showed you, the oval die goes in here too. Here's the die set. It has some great little flower stems that you can use on other things. As a great oval you can use with other things. And then these sentiments that curve along in it. So let me show you what I did off screen. I die cut the oval from white, and I used the stamps that say, how blessed I am to have a friend like you. They're in there curved. The other curved sentiment says, plant dreams, pull weeds, and grow a happy life. That's sweet. And then there's keep going, keep growing. Thanks for all your help. That's great with the Wheelbarrow. Have a joyful day. And then, of course, a little heart. So what I did, I'll come back to this in a moment, but that's from the Wheelbarrow set. Then I also created a panel. This panel is a little bit smaller than 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. I'll try to answer some of those questions in a minute. Let me finish explaining this. So that panel right there is a little smaller than 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches, and it's Bluebell cardstock, one of the new colors from Concord and 9th. Then I used this set from Kristina called the Spring Stem. I showed examples with this earlier. I think that's just a beautiful stem, and I stamped it around the edge repeatedly with Bluebell ink. So that's Bluebell ink on Bluebell cardstock. Now the center is going to be covered, so you just see that floral around the edge. And I think that's just lovely. Okay, isn't that pretty? All right, I'll talk about that slit in a moment, but that is the Kristina Werner Spring Stem. All right, then I started doing the Wheelbarrow because I didn't want to just be die cutting and gluing a ton of things together in the video or in this live. So I made my Wheelbarrow. It's easy to do. There is this die right here that I cut from silver, and that's the base of it. Then this die you can cut from whatever you want the Wheelbarrow to be. There's even a die that creates the lip on the top of your wheelbarrow. And then there are dies that create the wheel. And I use black glossy for the wheel and black glossy for the handle. And that's the Capri. Okay, so that's the Capri. Then, let me cut this so you can see. Hold on. I'm trying to find a scrap so I don't have to use a new sheet, but I don't have a scrap. Well, I'm going to cut it from Seaside. Hold on. Then creating this little cluster to go in your wheelbarrow is easy because, hi Jana. Yeah, Concord and Ninth, if you are a details person, Concord and Ninth is a good one for you because they always have details included in their dies, but you can skip details if you wanted to. Okay, so this right here looks kind of funny. It's like some greenery with a flat bottom. The reason is you just take that and glue that to the back of your wheelbarrow and look at how they all stick out. All right. And then you can add stems and florals to that, or just go with this way, like just leave it like that. Well, what I did off screen is I cut that base from the basil cardstock, and then I did some of the other stems and flowers. And let me pull this up so you can see the details. It looks funny on the bottom, but that'll cover up. And look at that cute little arrangement. All right, so I'll show you how one of the little flowers comes together. But I used basil's the darker green, parsley's the lighter green. These little purplish pink flowers are the new aster color. And this little kind of tulipy thing back here, that is fig. You can see how those go together well. Then these little flowers are the bluebell. Now let me show you real quick how you do one of these stems, because these can be used, I need them. I'll use this right here. These can be used on other things. So I just made a few little stems like I'm about to do and glued it on top of that like base that goes in the wheelbarrow. Yeah, they knock it out of the park. Nobody does details like they do. I think Greenery does a lot of details, and Spellbinders does in a lot of theirs too, but there's something about these. Okay, so you can see on this stem, there are 4 like little circle dots. That means you put a flower there. So you just put a dot of glue on those little circles. Oh, I left my lid off. Hang on. I keep a stainless steel pin to clean the nozzle if I didn't close my glue and it kind of gets clogged. Clears right up. All right, so glue on each of those little dots, and then I can pick up these tiny little flower die cuts and add them. These are the aster color, which I just love so much. On this one, I only have 2 of those cut in aster, so I'll use this other one, other flower shape that's in the die set, and this one is from the bluebell. Then there is a die in here, this one right here, that cuts a bunch of little dots at once that you can do in buttercup and add to the center of the flower. So see how quickly I was able to make that sprig, or that little stem of flowers. I did a few of those and I just layered them together on top of that base. So now I can glue my wheelbarrow right to the front. So I put glue along the wheelbarrow here. I'm going to make that one kind of go like that. Do it like that. Maybe a little bit further down. There we go. And then I also have some of these little bits that I want to have. I want one in the middle, right in the front. Like hanging over. I like to have some things kind of hanging over the edge. So there's some more of the bluebell. And then I have these little ones here that were from the Seaside. And I did those from fig. I just think these are so cute. And I'll put some right here, like that. And then I'll put some up here too. So I added these little die cuts, these little trio of purple fig flowers Those dies are from the Seaside I did earlier. I do need to add yellow dots to the center of the flowers there in the front. There we go. I really like the aster. Let me show you the colors. The new aster, oh, they're right here. New aster with the old fig. I love those two together. And then the bluebell with the capri. And that's what I did in my wheelbarrow, along with some parsley and basil for the greenery. Okay, so now I have my wheelbarrow. And I want to sandwich, see all that back there? I'm going to take another die cut, wheelbarrow die cut. I have a silver one. I don't need it to be silver. Let me cut it from white. Cut this from white. And there are different shaped stems in there too. I also like that Concord and Ninth does multiples. So see, this cuts 4 of the little daisy looking ones at once. So you don't have to run your die cut machine as much. All right, so here's another wheelbarrow. On the front of that wheelbarrow die cut, I'm going to put some strong glue and put this on the back so it's sandwiched between. Just so it's a little bit smoother on the back there. Okay. There we go. Let me put something heavy on that. Oof, I'm making kind of a mess here. Okay, there we go. All right, now I am going to put my wheelbarrow on here and it's just going to slide back and forth. All right, so I just needed a little slit cut. A lot of people have, you don't need to make it move, by the way, but a lot of people have dies that create little slits like this. I know Lawn Fawn has like slider dies, Honeybee also does, but I wanted to say another way you can do it besides using a craft knife is a lot of your sentiment dies that some of your stamp sets come with are perfect for it. So this is actually a really old Honeybee mini messages die set. I keep this out in my cabinet because I use it so much. And I just took one of these and I cut it for my sliding spot. So you don't have to have a sliding set to do movement. I'm using banner dies. That's one of my favorite die sets. I use this with sentiments from all companies a lot. I have that linked below. Okay, so now that I put that cut there, all right, I did that off screen to save time. Then I also have just a scrap of white cardstock that I'm going to put on my background so that when you look through that slit, it's not the blue. You look through and you see white. So it doesn't make the slit stand out as much. Okay, next, sliders. I'm going to use the Snap and Slides from Pear Blossom Press. I've used these many times in videos. I will tell you in a moment what you can do instead if you don't have these. But first, let me use these. I have them linked below to a few different places. And after I use these, I will tell you what else you could do instead. All right. So I don't want it to spin. I want it to slide back and forth. So I'm going to use two of my little Snap and Slides. So I've got one half there. The little pokey part is pointed up. And I'm going to lay my little slit onto it. Okay. Then I'll take the other half and listen, it just pops on. So now I have these 2 little spinners in here that can move around. Okay. I don't want them to move around separate from each other. So I will glue them on next to each other on the back of my wheelbarrow. And the reason I'm doing 2 is if I have 2 in there, then it won't spin, it just slides. Okay, so I'm going to put some double-sided tape on that. Oh, before I do that, I wanted to tell you. So this is a Snap and Slide. I need to find a. Oh, hold on. I have here we are. So this is basically what a Snap and Slide is. It's 2 circles with a tiny little connection between it. So you could make your own, by die cutting 2 circles that are like a 1/2 inch in diameter and putting a button between, a tiny little button. Okay, so you could do, or a tiny circle foam dot. So you could make your own. Okay, but what I'll do is I'm going to put glue on the top of this. I'm using Altenew double-sided tape, but whatever tape you have. I should have put this on before I snapped it down. Let me take it off. I'm just going to cut around, doing this as fast as possible. Is everything good up there, Mike? Were you up there?
I haven't been up.
Okay. So I put adhesive on the top. And then, oh, let me just go ahead and do it on the other one first. So I'm putting adhesive on the top. Some people use glue dots for this, but I'm using double-sided tape. That's good enough. Okay, so now I'll remove the release paper. So on the top of these little snap and slides, she's going to come out with she now calls these snap and spin, and she's coming out with a new version that will slide, but I don't know if they're out yet. So if I want something to just slide, I use 2 snap and of these together. Okay, so there we have, there's adhesive facing up, but they slide. I'm going to put them right next to each other in the middle position. It's like 2 eyeballs. And then I will lay my wheelbarrow on it. So I'm going to look from above because I want to get my wheelbarrow kind of centered-ish. Okay, so you can see the wheelbarrow goes side to side, but the middle position's like right about like that. Okay. All right. All right, now I need to put foam tape on the back and then just put it onto our card base. Now, the way I do foam tape around a curved, watch this. I take a strip of foam tape and you remove the release paper. If you keep the release paper on, it doesn't curve as well. I'm going to start at one end and see how you can curve it. And I'm going to go around the edges. I have blue ink all over my fingers. Sorry if my head's getting in the way. Isn't it cute? I love to make things move. Again, if you don't have snap and slides, you could use 2 circle die cuts and a small little button in between, or a small circle foam. Okay, so there's tape going around. I'm just going to put a little piece of foam tape right here. You don't want to get in the way of the movement though. This is Altenew foam tape. I use it all the time. I love it, and I have it linked below. Now I'm going to take this. Usually I put liquid adhesive on it and spread it around so that I can place it down and have wiggle room time, but I'm going to wing it this time. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just, excuse my head, put this down centered-ish, and my wheelbarrow goes side to side. Isn't that fun? Okay, now card base. That's easy. White 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I cut that bluebell background down to be a little bit smaller, so I'll have a nice white trim, hopefully, if I did it right. I have to trim it because I didn't do it very well. Cut a little bit off the sides at the bottom. Yes, Simon Hurley does have, oops, I just butchered that. Simon Hurley does have clear foam tape, which I really like. I've been using it off screen, but it's out of stock everywhere, so I'm not even going to bother showing it to you until it's back in stock because people get so mad about that. Okay, just try to get this. There we go. Okay, thin white base. There we go. Isn't that cute? But there is one thing bothering me. Some of those flowers don't have little, and then I need a heart. Some of those flowers don't have centers, and I can't leave it. That will just, that is the end of the world for me. All right, Mike, are there questions while I glue these together? Look how cute that is. I mean, please. Concord and Ninth has a set called Pet Pals, and I was going to have the dog or the cat sticking out from the center or from inside the wheelbarrow, but I didn't.
What's the thickness of the foam tape you use?
This is the thicker version, but you could use the thinner. Anytime I have any kind of movement, I like to use the thicker just so it has really good free movement, but you could use thinner. Okay, so there we go. There's that, and then we need a heart on our wheelbarrow. So let's see, the wheelbarrow goes right there. Watch that. Look at that. Oh, for pity's sake, Concord and Ninth. Oh my gosh, when are they going to stop? Look at that. Some things just make me happy. This is what I needed today. This is what I needed. Okay, so that is the Wheelbarrow Wishes, and I used Christina Werner's spring stems on the background. I really like that on the background. It's like you made your own pattern paper. Can you see it? Isn't that pretty? I'm going to have to go live again because I have more things that I want to do, and I'm out of time. I'm out of time. And I want to use, I really wanted to use the Turnabout, but that would take too long. So I'm going to have to go live again. I might go live Saturday afternoon. And you guys can, it could be one of those where you help me choose what to use. So you'll see me in the whole process, not just kind of these end things. Okay, so there's that. Let me see something real quick. Yeah, the other thing I wanted to do in my other live, I think I'll go live Saturday. Mike, how do you feel about a live on Saturday? We have to go to a funeral in the morning, but then after that. Mike said yes. Okay, so it would be probably 3 o'clock on Saturday. Okay, this is the other one. This is the other one I really like. This is what the other, I want to use the Turnabout in the other live, and I want to use this. And I'll tell you what I want to do with this. I want to do this in Capri, and then remember the bold stripe stamp. On top of that, do like a, oh no, I would do this in Capri, so it's a bold background. And then white and yellow flowers and green, and or maybe bluebell, I don't know. Then stamp over it with white pigment ink on the stripe. So just kind of a layered pattern paper look. I think it'd be pretty. Like this, you just do that and then stamp with the bold stripe with white pigment ink and make it really soft. Or do this and then clear heat emboss the bold stripes on it. So you'd have this beautiful background and it would have like shiny stripes. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. Might do some, you could kiss these together instead. Anyways, there's a lot you could do. So I think I'm gonna have to go live on, I am going live Sunday at 3. I think I need to go live Saturday at 3 too. Because there's just too much goodness. Okay, let's look at the cards. They're mostly done-ish, except the sentiment on this one. I can just lay it there if I can find it. We're going to do a giveaway. And, oh, look at that. Oh, come along now. We're going to do a giveaway. And they do gift cards, right?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to do a $50 gift card. I'm going to donate a $50 gift card. So if you've left comments in the chat, then you're eligible. If you haven't left a comment, do so now. Mike will pick a winner in a few minutes. And just a reminder that there are the 6 new colors from Concord and Ninth, and this is a combination of Concord and Ninth and Christina Warner's collection. And look at that. Oh, that's so pretty. I love that stripe. Who would have thought just a stripe makes such a big difference? And you can see how smooth that is tone on tone now. One of the things I like about Concord and Ninth's inks is if you stamp it once and then stamp it multiple times, it gets darker, but it doesn't get splotchier. That's one of the things I like about those inks. Yeah, I'm all about this blue, the blues. I mean, I just think they're beautiful. And that's that Berry Kiss. I love that pop too. So there we go. This is the Seaside collection. This is this is all Concord and Ninth. This is the Handpicked from Concord and Ninth. And then the Just a Note is from Kristina Werner, thin detailed frames, A2 detailed frames, and Christina Warner bold stripes. And then the Wheelbarrow stuff is from Concord and Ninth. And then the background is Kristina Warner spring stem. There we go. I can't remember what my kid's name is a lot of the days, but I can remember these names. Weird. Okay. Yeah, the Buttercup is pretty. They did great. I'm loving that Concord and Ninth not only is doing, I mentioned I like how they do the details. And see how nice this will kind of tuck in here, like the letters, the swoops will kind of overlap the flowers. The flower, oh my gosh. Anyway, I love how, not only do I love how Concord and Ninth does these details in all of their products, but I also like that they're doing things that are different. You know, like one month they had gas pumps, you know, then another, you know, they just come up with different things. Like this scene is different. This roadmap thing is different. A wheelbarrow, I hadn't done that. So it's just fun to see different things. All right. Okay. Mike, do you have a winner?
Yes, I do.
Who's the winner?
Martha Tribby.
Martha Tribby. Martha, you're the winner. You get to shop at Concord and Ninth. So Martha, if you go to Tribby, you said?
Yes, Tribby.
Tribby. If you go to my website, there's a contact me, send me an email with, just send me an email and we will email you the gift card. So you can do stuff, buy stuff before it sells out. Susan said she bought the whole bundle this morning. Yeah, it's so good. Both of the bundles, like I feel like Kristina's release has a lot of really good staples that you can use a lot. Oh, the sentiment in yellow would be pretty. You're right. On that hand-picked card, that would be pretty. Oh, it's just so gorgeous. I love that when it makes it easy for you. All right, there we go. I'm going to go hang out with Lila because she's going to leave soon to go to a friend's house, and I want to see her. What? What's wrong?
No, I'm just finding a message here.
There was a message?
Okay. Leanne.
Oh, Leanne. Leanne said Mike should get some extra pinball and beer time for working on a Saturday and Sunday. Mike didn't get here till noon today.
No, it was before noon, but
11:30. So he gets his time.
it's flexible.
It's very flexible. And I will admit, I think it was Tuesday, it was National Beer Day. And Mike and Cammie and I had a beer late afternoon.
Yeah.
So there are perks for working here.
Yes, there is.
So.
And there'll be a baseball game perk soon.
Yeah, he was just watching baseball before. Don't worry, I'll take care of him. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you all for being here. I really appreciate you spending the time. I know there are a million other things you could do, and I'm glad that you joined me. I think I'm going to go live on Saturday afternoon at 3 just to do some more, and you guys can like help me create those. And then Sunday I have a big live. I have it's like a card extravaganza. I have lots of cards prepped, lots of cards made, and a fun special offer. So that will be Sunday at 3. I'm for sure doing that one. If you want to find out when I'm going live, there are a couple ways. One is you can go join the Share Handmade Kindness Facebook group over on Facebook. I always put it on there when I'm going live. And I also have a service that you can get a text a half hour before I go live. And the sign up for that is at the top of my blog. So you can sign up to get a text, and I only use it when I am about to go live or there's something I think is really worth sharing. All right, thank you all for being here, and I will see you again probably on Saturday, but definitely on Sunday. Take care.